it's relatively easy to use. If I can figure it out, I feel like anybody can figure it out.
Yeah,
Um,
I think this would be cool. I'd want to do something like this in the future.
I think you should. I think everybody should. I think everybody should. I think more
Like,
people need to do this stuff.
yeah, and just talking to people, learning their background, seeing their perspective on life is
Yeah.
eye-opening.
Yeah, I mean, if you keep it consistent, it's like I tell people, I've been doing this for 5 years now, right? And I was doing it every day for like I would say 4 years.
That's
So,
crazy.
yeah. And most of them were guests. And so, you get to that point and you start to really kind of build this, kind of networking community, which obviously which I know I'm a fan of, you're a fan of, like, and so I think it's just a great way to meet people. And then, share stories online. So, all right. Good morning, everybody. Happy hump day. We made it. Happy Wednesday. Excited for this episode. I was chatting with Jasmine backstage, and her story's great. So really can't wait to really share that. Jasmine, I asked this question at the end of every show, but I started to do it now to kick it off. I know there's good coffee in the Dallas area. Are you a coffee fan or are you a tea girl? Like what are we?
I'm kind of weird because I just drink water.
For real? Like you don't do.
Puts me to sleep. I do like tea to wind down the day, so I drink tea.
Okay.
Trying to get into matcha, but just not.
My wife's a big matcha girl. There's like a few spots in Nashville that I actually do like. One spot is a coffee spot in Nashville. It closed down, and I'm still upset about it. I'm still grieving. Their matcha drink tasted like the milk of Fruit Loops.
Oh, interesting.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I will say that for like good coffee, I think Escape 360 in I think it's McKinney. It's all alongs 121. But I go there for fluffy pancakes, but my boyfriend gets the coffee.
I'm a big fan of fluffy pancakes.
Yeah, Japanese souffle pancakes are my favorite dessert of all time.
That sounds great. Sign me up. Sign me up. But that's great. So you're the first person. You're the first person on that question that has said water. So that's a first. That's a first. Good morning, everybody. See everybody tuning in. Jeff, it's good to see you. Roxy, it's good to see you. Yes, Jasmine is fantastic. Mark, it's good to see you. Ryan, Tehran, it's good to see you. Heard a lot of great things about Jasmine. Jasmine, you're being circulated in the community. Look at that. Ramsey, it's good to see you. Cereal milk. Yeah. It's good. Her boyfriend is basically a chef. Oh, sweet. Heck yeah. That's great. I'm coming over to y'all's house when I'm in Dallas. All right. So a few things, housekeeping things before we dive in. First off, please say, hey, would love to hear from you. Again, been doing the show. I was telling Jasmine backstage for 5 years at this point. What I realized is that, obviously the guests are important. Don't get me wrong. That's why I have guests, but I think the chatter within this live and then the chatter after the live, I think is incredibly important, right? This is essentially a meetup is really what I call it. This is a virtual meetup. It's a moderated meetup, but it's virtual. So please say, hey, I don't know if you're watching unless you don't say, hey. There are people in the Torque community that love to connect with people. I always tell people that connect with every guest I have, right? I mean, the kind of the mindset that me and Jason Torres have and Brianna have with the Torque community is like, we really want to kind of just like open up our network to you, right? So connect with Jasmine afterwards. Tell us good to see her on Guidance Counselor 2.0. Please do that. Next thing, AppRight. I'm a hero on the AppRight team community. Go check them out. Love them. Love that crew. I was actually messaging Tessa yesterday about some things. So go check them out. Also, if you want to know everything we're doing in the Torque community, please check out torque.community. Really, at the end of the day, all of our chatter for the most part goes on in our Discord. We'd love to have you. It's very active. I literally had my dear friend Kelly Vaughn text me the other day. She goes, it's crazy how active you guys are. I kind of say our Discord is basically become a huge friend group chat. So we'd love to have you. And then finally, too, listen, if you want to know when I go live with guests, if you're like, hey, Taylor, there's a lot of chatter out there. I don't know when you're going live. Like, just text me. I text that number every day. So I will do that. So we'd love to have you a part of that. Let's see here. Some more comments on here. Ricardo, it's good to see you. And just good to see you. David, Chris, Nikhil. We got the crew out today. Y'all are the contact facility. Yeah, 100%. Morning from Dallas. We got another DFW person tuning in. Devon, it's good to see you. Roberto, it's great to see you as well. And Anthony. So Jasmine, you pulled
A
a
lot of people
a
here.
lot of people today. Yeah, don't mess up. Anyways, all right. So let's get the people background and stuff. Basically, just say what you told me backstage. So quick background, how you started to where you're at now. Let's just kind of set the stage of you, and then obviously, like I said, I'll ask you some questions.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, started off same background as like most Asian people going to college for pre-med. And then during the summer of my first year, I wrote a line of code. And then that changed.
What was the line of code for? Like
it was D++ writing hello world to a file.
you just ripped the Band-Aid off the coding and went C++, which is wild.
Well, that's what they were teaching. So that's
okay.
Yeah, I didn't know anything before because I didn't even know code existed or software engineering was a field. Like all I knew was pre-med and being a lawyer, and yeah, that's it. That's like what my parents drilled into me was lawyer or doctor.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
And so that I changed my major after that to CS, and unfortunately during college, during COVID, we had some family financial situation, couldn't finish college. And so I went into real estate. And I did a year of real estate, and I really missed using that cognitive side of my brain. Like
Do you like real estate? That's hard.
Real estate's really hard. It's mostly sales, which I didn't. I thought I was more like, oh yeah, I get to look at homes, show homes, help people find homes. But it's a lot of sales. It's a lot of, especially moving to Atlanta, being in a new city. That's a lot of cold calls.
Oh, so you were in Atlanta. You were in Atlanta before. Okay.
Yeah, my boyfriend was doing doctorate school at the time, so I moved to Atlanta just to like explore a new city because I was like, I'm young, why not? This is the time of my life to explore right now. Move to a new city to pursue a new career that I thought that I was interested in. Didn't turn out well, and again, like I just missed coding and using that analytical side of my brain. I didn't feel like I was fulfilled in that.
Yeah.
And so looked up free resources online on how to code because financially, like, didn't want to go back to college. Was already, paying off debt from tuition and stuff. So I found 100 devs. I actually found a couple free courses before that, like Free Code Camp and another one that I forgot, but eventually like did 100 devs. And 3 months later, I got my first job in tech. And that was a pivotal moment for me because at that point, now I was making more than my parents combined.
Yeah.
And so really just dove into my career, learning as much as I could in my first year. Kind of stopped networking, kind of stopped putting outside of work because I was just trying to be the best at my job. And then my whole team got laid off 3 days before I put a deposit on my home. So I was kind of like in crunch mode, panic mode. Reached out to my network on X or Twitter, and a couple big people retweeted my stuff, like people with big followings, like Danny Thompson, James Quick, people that I've connected with over the years.
Sure.
While I was in 100 devs, starting my journey and doing 100 days of code.
Yeah.
That's what really, like, I guess, like, helped me connect with more people was daily 100 days of code. But from there, I got a lot of DMs, a lot of like job opportunities.
It's crazy.
The next week I was interviewing, I had an offer, a couple offers. Decided to go with the startup because I was really excited about the vision, and just my startup founder, talking to him was just very exciting. Unfortunately, a startup ran out of funding, but that was another pivotal moment in my career because I learned so much being like the front end engineering lead, leading a team of 2, doing everything from the ground up, building the platform from 0 to 1, learning all the startup terminology as well. Doing the marketing, like hiring, designers and just everything.
That's awesome.
And then yeah, the startup ran out of funding, and that's when I really had to take a step back
Yeah.
and ground myself.
Yep.
At that point, I realized that I never took time to process the layoff. I just jumped into work a week
Yep.
later, and I felt like a failure. And
Yeah.
this was hard for me to say.
Yeah.
Felt like a failure because the startup failed, because I got laid off. Like I never took the time to process that and say these
Yeah.
things out loud. But I had to realize that I'm not the failure. Like the startup failed, but I didn't fail. This is just a transition in my life, a
Mhm.
period for growth. And what I've realized over time is that the only thing in life that is constant is change. Like if you look at
Mhm.
nature, nature is always changing, going through
Mhm.
seasons, evolving. And so we look at change with like a negative perspective, but it's
Yeah.
actually like just part of evolution and human evolution.
Yep.
And so, I got to really do the soul searching after getting laid off. I had more time. And that's when I did 75 hard. I was
Yeah.
reading every day, working out every day, going on walks in nature every day, and all these habits like really changed my life.
Yeah.
And everything that I did during 75 hard, and I'm still doing it now, maybe not to the extreme of like every single day. Some days I give myself a little more grace, but I still do pretty much every day. Wake up at 5 a.m., read, meditate, work out, walk, and then get my day started. And then, yeah, wind down for the day, because it's also important to relax as much as
Yeah.
you work. You need to
Yeah.
relax. That's how your body will be able to keep up with you. So
I love
yeah,
it. I
now I'm
love
at
it.
3, and I've been here for about 6 months now.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. So lot to unpack over the next 20 minutes. So we'll do our best here. I think the first thing I want to get into is really you kind of pivoting into tech, right? And you joining 100 devs. I mean, listen, I talk about community a lot. I mean, what did that community mean to you?
Oh, it meant everything. I mean,
Yeah.
when you're trying to learn online, you feel so alone because you are alone. But
Yeah.
when you have something like 100 devs, where Leon at the time was cohort 2, and he was still doing live classes, so like every Tuesday, Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. He was online live with everyone, and you're there
Yeah.
with hundreds, sometimes like thousands of people. And it's
Crazy.
just like this really big community that you can lean on for help if you get stuck. And like he assigned homework. So if you ever need questions with homework, there's people from the first cohort that are there to
Yeah.
help you, just people that are learning at the same time as you. That really helps, like the camaraderie of the community. So
Yeah. What
I'm
about the folks who like, I want to kind of go into education here because you made a comment backstage that you don't think college is worth it, which I have my thoughts too. There's the college route, there's the boot camp route, then there's like this self-paced route. And I feel like 100 devs is a little bit between boot camp and self-paced. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's kind of the vibe of that. What would you recommend for folks who are getting into tech around those options? That makes sense.
I really would say like it depends on who you are. Like if you like
Yes.
structure and you like, going when you go to college, you are surrounded by people like that you can lean on for help in person. And if
Yep.
you're someone who needs that, then that might be the route for you. But if you're someone who's very like, I want to say ambitious, because like not saying going to college is not ambitious, but
Sure.
very self-driven, like you can keep yourself on structure by yourself, then I think that going the self-paced boot camp route is very ideal, because
Yeah.
one, you can save a lot of money, but two, like you can lean on to the community online. You can try and meet up with people also in the community. It's very big. So that's also an option. But I personally just believe that there are so many free resources online nowadays that
Yeah.
I believe that like it's necessary. If you want to do it, like that's great. And if you're going into something that's more nuanced or like AI or ML or topics like that, then you kind of do need to go to college.
That's
Um,
actually what I've been seeing a little bit. I do. So when I went to All Things Open AI in Raleigh back in October of last year, a lot of folks who were speaking were heavy in the university space.
mhm. Yeah,
So I agree.
and that's like the other thing is when you do go to college, you put yourself in an environment of really smart, bright people, right? And so you are who you surround yourself with, and
Love
being around
that.
that environment is going to help you learn and excel and learn things that you didn't think were possible, things not on
Yeah.
the curriculum.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It does. It does. I think too, curious to your thoughts. I mean, so I went to University of South Carolina and I was in their business school, which they are known to have one of the better business schools, especially from an MBA perspective, but I did not get my MBA. But you know, I think one of the things I think you go to college in my mind, outside of maybe the nuance of skill set of ML or AI or whatever, I think you go because of the network, the alumni network. And I think one of the things I did not do is I didn't know how to network at the time. Like
Mhm,
realistically, like if I was back in college, if I were to do college over again, I would try to just start like messaging people that I mean, I guess I could do it now, but it's on a different point in my life. But I would start messaging and try to connect with everybody that went to South Carolina
mhm.
because I feel like that's the power of the alumni
Yeah.
side of things, and I just never took advantage of that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that is like Texas A&M is really big here, and
Mhm.
everywhere wears like their Texas A&M rings, and like
Oh yeah,
they just like there's this unspoken thing that if you see another alum with the ring, like that's like an instant opportunity.
yeah. You can like go up to them and like chat. I mean, I tell people like if you message me about South Carolina football, I will always talk about it. Or even if you go to Texas A&M and you message me and just want to talk about SEC football and how we beat Texas A&M last year, like I'll talk about it. Right. So
Yeah.
again, like I think that's important, but it's just right here, my undergrad degree was great for networking, but I didn't know that at the time. Yeah, same. Again, like I just like really, if I had it my way, I'd probably go back and just help college kids like set themselves up better. Because I did not. Let me ask you this, Jasmine. I know time is flying by like it always does, which I want to get to kind of the mindset, right? And I want to give you a public shout out. Jasmine's been documenting her 75 hard challenge. If you don't know what it is, what is it? It's 2 workouts a day, one outside,
Mhm,
a gallon of water.
mhm.
There's some reading in there, right?
Read 10 pages.
Read 10 pages. Is there any, what else?
Take a picture of your progress.
Take a picture of progress. Is that about it? It's basically the workout. It's mainly the workout in the water. It's like the big thing.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the main thing.
Yeah. So Torque, we're rolling out a 75 hard for the job search. And I want to publicly say it's because of Jasmine, because I've just been so proud of her because it's not easy. It's not easy.
And
Talk about say what?
follow a diet.
There you go. Follow diet. Yeah, that's the other big one. We won't have diets on the 75 hard challenge for it. Don't worry. So talk about the mindset, right? You said you thought you were a failure
Yeah,
for a company you didn't even run,
right.
right? So it's like it wasn't even your company. You still internalized that and felt that. I feel like people when they get laid off, they have this failure kind of mindset, even though now that I'm in upper leadership, a lot of times it's really because of no one did anything wrong. It's just unfortunately because of budgets and yada yada. What are
Mhm.
just some other words of encouragement you can tell folks who maybe have been laid off or maybe will get laid off in the next 90 days? I don't pray that for anybody, but just what are some words of encouragement from a mindset perspective people need to have?
Um, like I said, like the only thing in life that is constant is change. And so if there is change, like don't be afraid of that.
Yeah.
Kind of take that time and as an opportunity to really lean into to growth and taking time to explore yourself. And something that I still remember that I listened on a podcast that you said was that with new, well, I don't know if you quoted this exactly,
Go,
but with
just give me the credit. That's fine. Go ahead. Yeah. If it sounds smart, it definitely wasn't me. So go ahead.
like you talking about stepping into a new position of leadership and feeling like you're failing, like starting all over again, that
Yep.
imposter syndrome is always there. Um, the quote is with new levels, there are new devils. I don't think you said
Ooh,
that.
I did not say that. That's way too good for me. Yeah.
But I just really took the time to listen to a lot of podcasts and really understand myself, be clear of who I am as a person. And that really helped me find my next role.
Yeah.
Uh, I mentioned it before, but I really like leaned into manifestation. And I can kind of talk about the 7 steps of it
Please.
because I think
Yeah.
there's misconceptions where manifesting is just you say positive affirmation and then it's supposed to come true. That's not
Sure.
what manifestation is. There's 7 steps. One is be clear in your vision, like know who you want to be, what that person looks like, how does that person show up every single day? Because if you don't know who or what your vision is, how will you know when you get there? And so,
Ooh,
that's the first step. And then the second step is really hard. It's removing fear and doubt and self-limiting beliefs about yourself or beliefs that you've, you know, grown over time that could be from childhood trauma or things from experiences that you've had. Really taking the time to lean into self-love and remove that fear and doubt.
I love that.
Step 2. Step 3 is aligning your behavior. So the law of attraction states that the energy that you put out into the world, you get back.
Mm-hmm.
And really need to become aligned with the behavior of the person that you want. For example, as someone, this is what I did when I was trying to find my first job in tech. I was like, someone who works a 9 to 5 in job or 9 to 5 in tech is going to be working from 9 to 5. So I took my time from 9 to 5 to learn, to network, and just use that as like work time and put myself in that schedule before it even happened so that when it happened, I
I
was ready.
love that. I love that.
And then step 4 is overcome tests from the universe. There's always going to be people, things, experiences, obstacles that show up. This is your time to lean into your faith muscle and really believe in yourself.
Yep.
Have faith that it's going to work out and that you're going to overcome any tests that happen to you. Just like with my layoff, like I just had to believe that this was an opportunity and everything in life happens for a reason. So whether it's a win or just a lesson that you learn along the way, everything happens for a reason. And then step 5, embracing gratitude. Gratitude is so important because
It is.
as you, get to your dream, you might want to like keep pushing forward. And that's where you can kind of like overwork yourself if you don't take that step to just really be mindful of like, I'm so grateful that like I'm here and I should be present in the moment, putting 100% into the things that you're doing at the time that you're doing it. So, like, for example, this podcast, like I'm putting 100% of myself into this moment and being mindful of like how I show up. And then step 6 is turning envy into inspiration. I
Oh, I
think
like that too.
social media, there's, so much online that you can find yourself comparing yourself to people or where people are at in their life, but you really just need to use that as inspiration to see like that is where I could get one day. So it's not like being jealous of that life. Being jealous is actually a good thing because it shows you that that's something that you want. So usually when you're envious, it's because it's something that you want in your own life. So you can turn that into inspiration and surround yourself with more of those people.
Yep.
So you can believe yourself to get to that point one day. And then the last step is trusting in the universe. I think we all want to control the narratives that happen in our lives. We want to control, like, I used to have a 10-year plan, like, mapped
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Never gone according
That's
to.
thrown out the window. Yeah. If you're like, what are your 5-year plan? I was like, I'm just trying to get to tomorrow, if we're just being honest.
Yeah, and so that's one thing that, when I was doing my soul searching, I realized is my plans have never worked out. And what's more important is just being very present in the moment and aligning your behavior with, your vision of where you want to go, but not being so stuck in, like, you have to get to this point by this point, and if you don't, you're going to feel like a failure. So really just letting go and having full trust that you'll get to where you need to go at the time that you are ready for it.
I love that. I love that. Is there any of these stages? Because there's been a few people, like Seth goes, I think I'm stuck on step 2.
Yeah.
Is there any steps that you struggle with more than others?
I struggled with step 2 for a while, actually, when I was that transition period from the startup ending to now being at this job. When I was doing all this soul searching, like, removing the fear and the doubt was really, really hard for me. And that's when I started meditating every day.
Mm.
And one exercise that I read in this book called Manifestation by Roxy Nufasi, she talks about, like, meditation is another thing that is very misconceived. You think meditation, you just sit there and you just don't think about anything for however long. But meditation is more about being mindful and being present of how you're feeling. And you can use it as a tool to, like,
Yeah.
visualize, but you can also use it as a tool to remove fear and doubt. And so what I would do is I would sit there and think of every limiting fear or belief as a cloud. And with every breath, like, the cloud disappears. And so I still do this on a regular basis when I do feel this way, which is, I still feel it from time to time. I'm still not perfect, but I do think that in the past 6 months, my mindset has grown a lot. And so I struggle less with these steps.
Yeah.
And easier than they were for me back then. But yeah, it's a daily practice. That's as you progress in life, as you evolve in life, like, with new levels comes new devils. And so you're
Yeah.
constantly going to be feeling like this, and that's normal. You just have to embrace it.
I love it. I love it. All right. So we're almost at time. That was great. I have a few rapid fire questions for you, but before we go rapid fire, any last words of encouragements, maybe some things that popped into your brain while you were talking?
Um, I would say just, like, do the hard thing. That's also one thing that
I love
I've
that.
leaned into, is, like, doing the hard thing, because your brain is not going to like it at first. That's just a natural feeling. It would be crazy to think that you'd feel confident doing something that you've never done before.
Sure. Sure.
So just do the hard thing, and, one day maybe you'll like it, one day you
Yeah.
won't, because you'll have tried it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
push
love
yourself.
that. I
Like,
love
life is
that.
about challenging yourself.
Do the hard things. I love that. All right. Rapid fire here as we wrap up. And again, for those of you who watch this or listen to this in the future when I drop on the podcast apps, please go connect with Jasmine. She's wonderful. She's wonderful. All right. Rapid fire here. What's one tech tool app that you can't live without right now?
Cursor for sure. I love
Cursor? Cool.
it.
I love
Yeah.
it. Awesome. Vibe coding all day.
I also use Granola. Granola records your meetings and
Yeah.
transcribes it. So, if you listen to podcasts, like, it's good to just have it transcribe everything so you can look back on, even though you can listen to it. It's nice to have it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I use Amy for
Amy.
that. But I use granola for a bit. That's great too. All right, next question. What's the very, very first job you ever had that you got paid for?
Oh, this one's easy. I started off as a cashier at Papa John's, and then a
Nice.
week later, like our team lead quit, and so I became the team lead, and it was really fun.
Destined for leadership. Destined for leadership.
At the time, we could still flip pizzas in the air. You can't do it now because it's not sanitary, but we were doing
Oh,
that
that's
back then.
lame.
It was pretty fun. Yeah.
Hot take here. I think Papa John's still is goated. I love Papa John's. I think it's great.
I'm actually a Domino's fan now. I think
Yeah. Domino's is 2. Domino's is 2 for me.
Domino's
But
is
also I'm gluten free, so they hurt my tummy. But I'll still eat it though. All right. Next question. Remote, hybrid, or back in the office? If I was your manager, I would say, hey, you can pick your schedule on what you want to do. What type of setup would you have weekly?
My ideal setup is remote with like one in-office meeting a month.
One office meeting a month. Is it a full day or just for like a few hours?
Full day. Yeah,
Full day.
I still like seeing people and interacting with people in person. It's just remote obviously gives you more flexibility
Yeah.
and the ability to have a more focused time. But I do love to connect with
I
people.
love that. I love that. Next thing, what's a career mistake you're weirdly grateful for?
Real estate for sure. Because
Really?
yeah, I learned so much while doing real estate. I really had to push myself out of my comfort zone, like door knocking and cold calling. And
Yeah.
it taught me a lot of soft skills. And all of my weird jobs that I've had before, like working at a call center or retail or working at a snow cone shop, like all those taught me soft skills that I use today.
Yep.
That I wouldn't have without them. So
I love it. I love it. Last, second to last question. If you weren't in tech, what totally different career would you try?
this is hard because I have so many interests. Like I love to travel. I would love to try woodworking. That's something that's
Woodworking?
yeah, like building furniture. I love doing things with my hands, and so I love the thought of it. I don't know if I'll love it once I actually do it, but that's something that I will eventually try. Um, and I love cooking too. I love to eat, if that's a career.
It sounds like you just want to be an influencer, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
So an
Yeah.
online personality. I love it. I love it. All right. Last question as we wrap up here. And again, thanks for everybody tuning in. The comment section has been great today. The show's called Guidance Counselor 2.0 because we had guidance counselors in middle school, high school, and college. And you've kind of said some stuff. So I'm going to challenge you to say something different. What would be if you could go back in time to Jasmine, young Jasmine, working at Papa John's Jasmine?
Yeah.
What would be your biggest piece of career advice?
I would say to find like a mentor or look for a mentor.
Yes.
Because back then I was living in a very small town. Like my graduating class was about 200. And so I just didn't know of other career opportunities that were out there. I think if, this was around back then and I actually knew about it, I could learn about the different careers that are out there.
Yeah.
That could pique my interest sooner than just following a path that my parents wanted me to be on. So to just like talk to more people, find a mentor, to have guidance on the path that I want to pursue.
Yeah. I love that. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. And Luke, give us a shot. We soft launched our mentor program last week. So pretty pumped. All right, cool. Again, Jasmine, thank you. You were wonderful. Please go connect with her. And then to everybody who's still in the chat, Jason and I are doing resume LinkedIn reviews in our Discord at 1:30 Central today. So I'd love to see you there if just to get some. We already have some people picked out, but it's still a good time to to hang out with us and see how to edit your resume. So see you there 1:30 p.m. Central, not a.m. But y'all have a great one. Jasmine, stay on so I can say bye to you backstage.
Okay.
This is the last guidance counselor 2.0 of the week. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.